Welcome, I'm your host, Malcolm Gallagher. From our BizVision studios in the UK, you're watching the Leadership Matters show on the BBTV network. When I visited one of the websites of my today's guest, I was immediately struck by the multiple messages telling me I could lose all my money. Now, you'd think I'd want to exit that site quickly and that I wouldn't pursue the guest request. But hang on. Surely those messages have their own message. Surely they're showing a company that wants to be transparent. And then I looked into my guest more deeply on his own website and I thought, you know what? This is exactly the type of Leadership Matters guest that we want. So let's welcome the co-founder of investment introducing firm Hunter Jones and the host of the Top 25 Podcast series, Mennie Talks. Welcome, Reece Mennie.
Malcolm, thanks for having me. It's a pleasure to come on. And thanks. I'm looking forward to your series of questions and giving your viewers some information about myself, my businesses, and what I do in my day-to-day life.
Great, Reece. We're looking forward to that. Now, you're such a busy person. I don't know where to start with this interview. So I'll let you briefly tell us who you are and what you do.
Yeah. As I said, I'm Reece Mennie. I've got my own podcast, which is Mennie Talks, globally top 25 on iTunes for business, entrepreneurship, finance. On that podcast, we interview serial entrepreneurs, not just entrepreneurs, but other sports professionals, anybody that's a professional in their sector that can give value, that's gone through from A to B of a journey that can give back to our listeners. And along with that, I'm a serial entrepreneur. I've got 4 businesses. I've got my property introducing business, as you said, which is Hunter Jones, which was my first business that I started, which I co-founded with my ex-partner. Now that business itself is a pure introducing company, introduces high net worth and sophisticated investors to structured property opportunities in the UK and overseas. That business basically shows investors a better rate of return than other mainstream opportunities that you know. And then we've got a marketing company, and I've also got a property development company myself as well. So we're just actually in the process of launching locally a boxing academy, which is slightly different. I've gone into partnership with 2 ex-professional boxers that are very good in their niche. They come to me because they're good at what they do, which is PT, which is training people. But they needed some entrepreneur mindset behind the business to make it different to other businesses that are local. So I'm looking forward to that. That's quite exciting. Yeah. But day to day, it's my property that I wake up for in the morning. My property business and my introducing business is what motivates me the most.
I said at the beginning, you're a busy guy. Yeah. You're on the BBTV Leadership Matters show for a reason. I think you are a socially conscious leader. In my mind, that is what leaders of today and tomorrow need to be if they want to be successful for their business. So tell us about your social consciousness, your charitable activity and why you do it.
Yeah, I mean, I like to give back, quite frankly. I think that there's, you get out what you put in, but, there's some things that you need to do to help people. I work with a few charities that are close to my heart. One's lupus. My mum's passed away from lupus, so obviously that's very close to my heart. My father had a stroke a year and a half ago, so that's another charity that. And the reason being is about awareness as well. There's so many things that you go through with them disease, just them 2 diseases that I've just mentioned, that quite frankly people don't know nothing about. They do know about it, but they don't know enough about it. And the awareness is just not there. And there's certain things when you drill down that if the message was out there a lot clearer, I think a lot of people would be able to steer away from maybe having the series of strokes and things like that if you do know what causes them. I know there's a lot of attributes what causes a stroke, but there's a certain things that you can do that could prevent that happening, which we've found out in the year and a half that my father's gone through it. Also, Hunter Jones, we support a local children's hospice in Canary Wharf, St Clair's. Every Christmas we go down there and just give some presents, wrap up some presents for the kids. My whole team get involved. We buy some gifts and we take them down there because it's about giving back. It's about the kids that are a little bit more unfortunate than the position that we're in, and everybody should enjoy that time of year. So we think that it's something to do over Christmas, is to go down there and give to these kids and let them have some enjoyment on that day as well.
Yeah. Congratulations, mate. Brilliant at that. Business is about making money, I know, but not at the expense of planet and people. Now, the construction business, especially in the UK, is making big changes, notably in embracing social value, equality, diversity. This does not mean that profits have to be less. Do you think many investors are now starting to understand the need for such consciousness and consideration? Some call it conscious capitalism.
It's a very good question. I mean, nowadays, what you find is people value profit and revenue over the planet and their teams, quite frankly. But rarely looking past the short term, what we see is the impact on decision making, quite frankly, a huge cost to the planet and individuals surrounding it. So I think the nuts and bolts of it is a lot of people need to start. It's the people that are looking short term in the value. Let's make money at whatever cost. But the entrepreneurs and business people and investors that are in the journey for the long term, I think now are starting to look at the planet and other stuff, and it's not just purely about making money. So I think the answer to your question, people are coming around to it. I don't think it's at the front for everybody. It should be, longevity. If we don't look after what we've got, we can't do what we're doing anyway. So, it's about how you run and it's not just about investing, in my opinion, and your business. It's about your everyday life. Yeah. You need to look at it. We work with a company that produce pure eco-friendly homes. So they give out less carbon neutral than they produce. So and that's a great uptake in this economic climate. A lot of investors like that over another developer that's just in London that's just building skyscrapers and not really worrying about it. So I think we are waking up to it as a society. I don't think we're awake as much as we should be, but we are getting there.
Brilliant. Now, many of my readers will now be saying, though, get on with it, Malcolm. I tuned in to get some property investment tips. So, Reece, crystal ball time. What's the property market like at the moment? Risky or safe? What's the impact of the pandemic and Brexit likely to be on it?
Yeah, another great question. And for your listeners that are looking, the property market, it's an opportunity. If there's opportunity out there, quite frankly, in these uncertain times, there's things that you can capitalize on. And the property market right now is one. And especially for us as well, we're introducing investors to developers and slightly different. The property market is good, but as a landlord, if you're looking as an investment, there's downsides to having 2, 3, 4, maybe 10 buy-to-let properties. It's not as good as it once was, being a buy-to-let landlord, because there's more taxes now, there's more headaches that come with it. So what we've done is we've structured with developers where you can lend your money to a developer, which takes away all of that headache for you. So the answer to the question is there's plenty of opportunity in the property market. If you're looking to buy property, I think it's a good time to buy property right now. I think it's a buyer's market. But also there's a lot of other opportunity out there in the property sector than just the straight buy a property, hold it, deal with tenants, deal with boilers going wrong. There's other opportunities in the market that you can take advantage of as well.
Brilliant. Yeah. Now, just for listeners Viewers can take down the URL of Reece, which is behind me in the screen. But for listeners, let me read it out to you. It's Reece, which is REECE, Reece hyphen Mennie, which is MENNIE.com. That's Reece-Mennie.com. Now, Reece, of the 250 plus leaders from around the world I've interviewed since March, many have started to implement change in their workplace, some by divesting in office space. Is this going to be another impact upon commercial property as companies downsize to their staff working from home?
Well, yeah, it's going to have a knock-on effect, definitely. But one thing for your listeners and yourself, what we specialize in, and me personally in the property sector, is converting office space into residential. So again, I go back to my last point, when there's a downturn or when there's a turn in any market, there's opportunity. So a lot of these office spaces that won't be being used can be converted into office space. Converted from office space into residential. And then what that means is, the office space don't need to be used, but we need more dwellings in the UK. It's a fact. We don't produce enough homes. I think the deficit's about 300,000 every year, 350,000 every year. We're never going to produce that amount. We're never going to catch up. So a legislation come out called permitted development rights, which we use, which means we can convert these office spaces into residential. So, yeah, it will take a knock for the commercial sector, but when there's a knock in one sector, there's a positive in another. And if there's developers out there like us that can convert these into nice dwellings, affordable dwellings for young professionals or people that are leaving home or for whoever needs them, that's a benefit in my opinion. So I don't think it will have a knock-on effect, and I don't think it'll be too dramatic for the commercial space, honestly.
You'll probably be getting my wife knocking on the door to try and buy me one because she's fed up of me being here all the time in lockdown now.
Yeah.
Look, let's
I think there's a lot of us in that boat.
Yes. Look, change is all around, but always has been the only constant. But now more than ever, it has to happen. Yeah.
Yeah. Go on. Sorry.
Go on. However, everyone will vote for change, but few actually want to do it. I suggest the words fear and risk to many are totally associated with change. Do you agree? And if so, what should leaders be doing about it, given that change is happening?
Yeah, in life, everybody's scared of change because, it's an unknown territory for most of us. But in these times, we need to learn with change and we need to tweak what we're doing. My outlook on life is if you don't change, you're going to be doing the same thing over and over again. And, that's relatively boring to me. I live my life by change. I think that, and in my opinion, what separates entrepreneurs to just normal business owners, or what separates people that work for a business to the owner is action taking and change and taking that leap of faith and believing in yourself and making change. So you've got to take calculated risks. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying run away and just change things for the sake of it, but we're living in a world of uncertainty, and change is good. We don't need to keep being told, just do what you're doing and don't change it, because if we all live that life, I think the world would be a relatively boring place, really. And it's the same as anything. If you don't try something, you don't know. And it is nervous. It is scary. But at the end of the day, the benefits that come with change, once you've tried, I think all of us could sit here, all of the listeners, me and you, Malcolm, could sit here and say, look, there's a couple of things that we've tried that we was terrified to do at the start, but once we tried it and we liked it, we've probably done it again. So that's how you've got to live your life.
Yeah, too true. And a good example of that, Reece, is how many business leaders wanted to stay away from coming on Zoom. Hey, now they like it.
Yeah.
They get to speak the world. Entrepreneurship, by its definition, though, means, as you say, risk, but entrepreneurs bring innovation, and that's what the UK is crying out for. Do you think we need to change our investment culture in the UK to truly encourage entrepreneurism? And if so, how?
I'd say that there's not enough focus on promoting entrepreneurship in the UK. I think education in the culture, I think when we go to school, you're taught, stay safe. Don't try too many things. But if we stuck like that, most of us probably wouldn't walk, because, when you first try to walk, you fall over. Yes. And it hurts. But, your mum and dad then, or your family, your parents then don't say to you, well, don't keep trying. So if we was all in that mindset of, try it, keep trying, it's going to hurt, but you're going to get up and you're going to get on with it. I think the place, the world that we'd be in would be a different place, especially the UK. 9 to 5 and then retire is what you're taught at school. I feel strongly about entrepreneurs' advice. That's why I started the podcast. We live in a changing world. You've got the likes of Alan Sugar, Sir Richard Branson, James Dyson, things that they've brought out which have changed the world. Now, if they stayed safe, we might not have had them things. So, we need to look at different things in society. We need to encourage people to get into entrepreneurship. We need to encourage people that it's tough. It's not like, just do it and it works, or just try it and it works. It might sound like that's what I'm saying, but I'm not. You've got to be prepared for the ups and downs. But I don't believe with 9 to 5 and retire is the right option for everybody. And it seems in our education system in the UK that we try to make it that should be for everybody.
No, I'm totally with you. Certainly not for me. Now, hopefully, Reece, it's between you and I hope we've got to know each other so far, as long as we've progressed in it. So let's step aside for a moment and tell me about the real Reece Mennie, the one I can't read about on your website or your bio. What drives you? What makes you want to bounce out of bed each morning? What you believe your purpose is? And how will you measure yourself on your personal achievement?
Yeah, I mean, it's a great question. And just before I will go into that, but as you said, from seeing our websites, we are very transparent. So most of the stuff that you do see about me does give you the real Reece Mennie and the real person that I am. But, my baby daughter, my little girl that's turning 4 next year, definitely bounce out of bed for her every morning. And everything I do, every decision that I make, evolves around thinking, is it right for her? It's about building a legacy and helping people around me, to think and act and take action. And another big thing is helping our investors achieve a better rate of return. So as I said in the beginning, it's about giving back. I'm not any different to anybody else, and I don't like the couple of entrepreneurs that I mentioned just a minute ago. They're not any different from anybody else, apart from they go above and beyond and give a little bit more and believe in themselves more than other people believe in them. What makes me get out of bed is my family, making sure that, God forbid, anything happens, I've got a good legacy to leave my family, and helping people that are close around me, especially my team members as well, helping push them in the right direction, because it's hard to get people that want to push you in the right direction. Everybody just says, oh, stay comfortable, do what you want to do your 9 to 5. But you need good people around you. And, the way that I've got to where I am is by having good people around me and having good advice. And that's what I like to give back. And that really motivates me. Seeing somebody else do well is fantastic, and I really enjoy it.
Excellent. Yeah. My wife pushes me. She's actually bought herself one of those electronic cattle prodders, Reece, I like to give all my first time guests 3 wishes. If I was to give you 3 wishes for how the UK should be viewed by external investors in the next 5 to 10 years, what would your 3 wishes be?
A hub of opportunity would be number 1. Boosting incredible talent in the workforce we have to offer in the UK, because our workforce over here is strong. Promising capital growth, in different sectors that we've got. So you've got three things there, but the main one is really a hub of opportunity. In the UK, there's a lot of opportunity. If you look in the media, there's a lot of doom and gloom about Brexit. There's a lot of doom and gloom about the virus. But, quite frankly, there's so much opportunity in the UK right now. Yeah. And if you want to find opportunity, it's there to be found. Speak to the right people and you'll find really what you're looking for.
Excellent. Reece Mennie, I love that one. Hub of opportunity. Look up and find it. Reece Mennie, thank you indeed for a fabulous interview.
Thank you very much, Malcolm. Appreciate your time, and hopefully your listeners, viewers have found something that they can take away from this interview and implement it. Or if anyone's got any questions, for me, as you said, my website's on there. I'm happy to speak to people. I'm active on social media. Feel free to drop me or my team any messages, and we'd be more than welcome to answer any questions or anything that you've got. And if I can help you, I'll happily do so.
Thanks on behalf of all the viewers and listeners. Thanks, Reece.
Thank you very much.